Welcome to Unpack Radio. I'm your host, Norris Pope Johnson. And that guy with me, I used to call her Batman, but now I'm going to start calling her the Bag, because every time I look up, I saw this. I spent $9 on something that I'm making $500 a week. I'm like, God damn, just let me hold on to a little bit of money. It's a little bit of money. Just let me hold on to the purse just one time.
I thought you saw all them bags I had when I came in, like a bag lady joke.
Oh, see, I was talking about that bag of money you got.
Happy time.
I got Tanisha with me.
Hi guys, happy Friday.
I don't know if they can hear you. Got to put it in your face, baby. We'll lean it over there. How about that? Lean over there.
Hi guys, happy Friday.
And we got DJ Smoking. We got a good friend of mine. He still owe me a hunting/fishing trip.
What's going on, family?
And we got my main guy, man. Last time he came through in our old studio, he caused a big old riff. The comments were very deep about the male ego. The comments ran deep. We brought them in again. The comments ran deep again. And we're bringing them in again. At this point, he a family friend of the show. My man Mike, the Power Man Bishop. Tanisha, this is more your bag right there. You know, you into the game of, I mean, big boy houses.
Little bit.
So this is the guy you call when it's time to get that joint inspected. So
okay,
you go out there and toss out the first question.
So Mike, the company you work for is US Inspect?
US Inspect is like the #1 home inspection company in the US.
Okay. Yeah. So how long have you been a home inspector?
I've been a home inspector for 2 years now.
Okay. What did you do before that?
I've been on the show. They know. I was in the Army.
Okay.
I worked for the Department of Defense. Did appraising. I work on cars. Everything. I do everything.
Okay, you the hustle man.
I do hair too.
Wait, was that like a shot? Like,
no shot.
The show just started. We 2 minutes in.
No shot. I do it all though.
Okay. Why home inspections?
You know, a cousin of mine said it was a way to make money. And I was like, really? And I picked up a book. It's a lot to learn. I'm a part of the MAC-ASHI chapter, the Mid-Atlantic Home Inspection chapter. It's a prestigious chapter. And when I passed the national test, one of the guys in my chapter was like, did you build houses? What did you do? Because the test is not designed for people to pass. So I was like, nah, I did none of that. I just studied, and I passed the test. It was hard as hell, but I did it. But it's a real interesting job. It's a real interesting field to go into. You have to know a lot.
So you said you came from appraisals first, right?
Yeah.
You were a residential appraiser as well?
Yes.
Okay, so why no more appraisals? Because that's I think that's something else that people say, hey, this is where you come get the bag at.
My cousin still does it. He got me into that as well. Appraising is just a little different. They constantly changed the rules on appraising and made it harder for us to get in there.
What do you mean?
We probably had like a 6. They just kept changing and they wanted more and more and more as far as your certifications, wanted this, they wanted college, they wanted that. And then in 2008, when it just went kaboom,
okay,
you know, different banks started messing with their own appraisers. My cousin's still very successful with it. I just started doing other facets. I was a Maryland State Inspector with vehicles and motorcycles and stuff like that, and I just got out of it. But it's still a real money thing as well.
Okay, all right, I like it.
See, y'all talking over everybody here, so let me bring it down a little bit. Okay. Can you please explain like the details and knowledge you have to just even start the process of inspecting the home? I'm gonna tell you the real. When I got into it, I went to my home inspection chapter. I was like, I didn't know how to write an appraisal, but I passed the national test. So I called a guy he was an instructor in my school. I went to the first home inspection school for ASHI in Baltimore. And he said,
I'm sorry, can you tell us what ASHI is?
It's the American Society of Home Inspectors.
Okay.
It's either you got, ASHI is like the last of the Mohicans. If you're not an ASHI inspector, you're nothing really.
Okay.
You got INTERNACHI as well, which is another acronym for home inspection. But he said, call me when you pass the national test. A lot of people take the class and never take the national test. DC, you don't have to have a license. Pennsylvania, a couple other states. So we had some guys from Pennsylvania in class. I was the only black guy. and I think I'm the only black guy in the McAshey chapter. And when I went there, it was in a old folks home or a senior center or something. That's where we held our meetings at. And I didn't know they was playing bingo in one room, and I'm like, am I in the right place? And I asked some of the guys, like, how do you get business? Because I went out and started a business, and I was like, I'm gonna make money, but I didn't know how to write inspections. So one of the guys said, talk to this gentleman over here, and he worked for U.S. Inspect, and he took me. He said, you could come ride along with me, and he took me there. And U.S. Inspect right now is all about diversifying and letting people see that everybody buys homes, just not older white people. And they wanted me. I still didn't know. I learned by doing the ride-alongs, but they said, just do this and pass these modules and come on, we give you ride-alongs. And they taught me how to do inspections. So U.S. Inspect is just it's an ongoing thing. They have a lot of educational things online that we do all the time just to sharpen our skills.
So my question was going to be, why U.S. Inspect instead of starting your own home inspection company?
You have to have experience. Like I can go out with somebody, and it's so many levels, as you know, to selling homes, buying homes. I might have cut you off, but buying homes, selling homes, and you have to have a starting point. You just can't say, okay, I'm gonna go write inspections, because you don't have a dispatch. You don't have. I wanted to learn the whole business, and U.S. Inspect is allowing me to do that.
So you said something about software. I don't know. I just, as a real estate agent, you have to be an agent for a certain amount of years before they'll let you go get a broker's license, right? You have to prove that you know what you're doing before they'll let you move up and then manage other people or run a shop on your own, whatever it is you decide to do as a broker. So I always thought it was interesting that inspectors do not have to take that route, that you're allowed to get the license and then you can go ahead and open up a shop of your own.
You can, but you won't be. I'm not saying you won't be successful, but it's a lot of room for error. There's no pass or fail with an inspection. Inspection, just you're going into a home, you're looking at all the systems in the home, and you're saying, okay, this is a defect, this is we don't do code, but this is not up to code, pretty much. This needs to be fixed. This might cause you future problems. This is just wired wrong, and your floor in the bathroom is wet right now. So, different states have different protocol. Like Maryland, you have to take classroom hours. You have to do so many inspections to become an ASHI full-fledged member. But U.S. Inspect is always, and I'm not just big up in U.S. Inspect, there's a lot of reputable companies out there, but U.S. Inspect is the best. But it's just a lot of levels that you got to learn, a lot of things that you got to learn. No inspector is perfect. And the guys that told me how to do inspections, they've built homes, energy-efficient homes. They've been in the business for 30 years, and every day is a learning experience. You might see something, and we always share via text message, email, like, look at this. We have a team on hand that if I see something that I don't think is right, I could just take a picture, email. They're like, oh, no, this got to be this way. So it's a team collective that just tackles homes all day long.
I like it.
I get your question. Are you trying to pretty much ask why not take the risk and owning your own business or whatever?
Not really. So all the home inspectors I've used have companies of their own, although I'm not sure how long they've been inspecting. But all of them have companies of their own. It's a goal to get with U.S. Inspect, learn as much as you can, because it sounds like you've learned a whole lot, and then go back to doing your own thing.
Yeah, that's the natural. I'm reading your mind. That's the natural progression. I'm a go getter. I'm always working, and when I went out to prove myself, I've never been to a home as of yet that somebody said you did a terrible job. People have been sending me great reviews, calling me back. We did have a slowdown because, winter, people stop buying houses like that for Christmas. But people request me. It's been a fun experience.
I just want you to know that your name has been totally dirt in my mind for like a week because somebody told me you have no Instagram or Facebook or no social media.
I don't.
And I was like, well, how the hell is he advertising the business? What's the website? He was like, he don't have none of that either.
Yeah, he asked me about it. I said I have no handouts, no pamphlets. I'm here to educate. And the social media is another progression that I'm leaping into, because you got Facebook Live and all this other stuff, and I watched other inspectors, and that's their marketing tool. Also, I work with the Department of Defense.
Okay.
So
it's not.
I manage that.
Yeah.
I managed on that side, but this winter, spring, summer, fall, I'm leaping into more and more inspections. That's my thing. Radon. I'm gonna tackle mold. It's so many different levels of inspection that you want to do, and I'm progressing to that. So yeah, social media is coming, and I'll be back, and I'll have stickers and t-shirts.
I had the magnets and everything on your car, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, man, time out. Hey, I don't get on me, my man. Try to stay low key on the social sites, and I can't blame them, because sometimes that could be the tools to.
You could have been like, go to US Inspect's website. And
Nah, see, you said you work for the Department of Defense, right? Already, that's all he had to say. I already know what time it is. They be in your business.
To him, we never talked in detail about this.
Okay.
Like last time we spoke for over an hour, this didn't come up. And the next time we spoke for over an hour in this very studio, this did not come up.
So what areas are you doing inspections in?
Right now, I'm doing from deep southern Maryland all the way to Montgomery County. I really don't want to. I can't do DC. I really don't want to dive into that. This year, I'm gonna do Northern Virginia as well.
Okay.
But we break it down into areas. That way, when dispatchers put jobs out, they have their inspectors that we can get it done in a day.
So I'm going to ask you some real home inspection questions, right? Because I done seen some ugly home inspections. Do you have any areas in the area, like little neighborhoods in the area, that you just despise? Like every time you do a house in this area, the house is like totally messed up.
No, I got coveralls and PPE and all that good stuff. If you don't like inspecting a messed up area, you shouldn't be a home inspector.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Oh well, you braver man than me, because I done seen some things in my short little time. Like
even when I was on the appraisal side, I saw some things that were like, wow, people live here or whatever. But that's not my job to judge. My job is to go in and find and see if there are any defects in the house.
It's always some defects.
It's always defects. In the house. Always defects in the house. It may be something simple as the concrete is settled and heaved in the walkway. That's a defect. Roofing systems have problems. Radon is a big thing in Southern Maryland. Radon is the number one killer of the number one cause of lung cancer for non-smokers.
Can you tell us what radon is?
Radon is a noble gas that happens naturally from the decay of gases within rocks and stuff in the ground. You can have a house here, and it has 0.5 picocuries per liter, and a house 2 feet over here that might have 64 picocuries per liter, and you don't want to have anything over radon. Over 4 picocuries per liter, or you're gonna have to report that and try to remediate that, stuff like that. Radon is natural. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Any hot areas other than Southern Maryland?
You never can tell. It's just been historically, people been, you get a house in Southern Maryland, they get radon tested or whatever, but you never can tell. So if you're going to go all out, and the market was crazy this past year, people waived inspections. I bought a house and waived an inspection.
But it's you.
Yeah,
so.
Not just because I could look at it and see what was wrong, but just to get the deal done. People were, you get a house and people make 30 offers, and this person says, I'll waive the inspection, and they're going to try to sell the house. Get an inspection, people.
Now, my question is, I noticed you said a few of the rooms you enter, you was only a person of color. Can you explain that to people?
Certain industries, I don't think that we as black people talk about. Just like you said, that we had a conversation and I didn't say anything about it. So, yeah, the cake looks good, man.
I don't eat chocolate, and I didn't realize there was chocolate in the cake. I'm so sorry.
It's a lot of industries we don't talk about as black people. appraising is one of them as well. You have it's like a secret society, and people get into business and they find out how to make money, and they don't tell us, and we don't talk to each other enough to say, man, look, this is, you can make some money here. This is interesting. You know, I'm sure there's kids out here or people out here that might like looking at different homes. I saw so many great things as an appraiser in homes, different architecture, different appliances, and it's like, wow, you get ideas like, man, when I get a house, I'm gonna do this and do that, and yeah, you see what not to do and what you should do in a house. So that's basically just people not talking and people not spreading the knowledge on different things. And this industry right here, it's not a lot of us in it. It's less of us in this industry than appraising homes or real estate. It's just, you got white guys that built homes, they're 60, 70 years old, and they're on the downswing. They don't want to climb up ladders all the time, even though we get on roofs and stuff like that. They don't want to lift bags of concrete, so they go into home inspection. They know everything about a home, so it's a progression. It's a natural progression.
So I went to this brokers conference, just real estate brokers, all real estate brokers, in Florida this week. I was literally the only black person in the room. I think the higher and higher up you go in that profession, it gets harder and harder to see us. Not that you can't find successful black real estate brokers, right? Or even successful black real estate agents. But I think the further and further up you go, it's harder to find us. And it's like uber important that we teach everybody who doesn't know, right? Not even just people that are in the industry, but just homeowners in general, because we tend not to buy because we don't know what's going on and we don't know who to trust, and the numbers don't really sound good, and we need people like us, you know, to come in and hold folks' hands and be like, we're going to do this, right? We're going to do this, and you're going to be good and happy when it's over.
Yeah, we have an issue with trusting our own people, and we have an issue with when I say not giving the knowledge, we just feel like, oh, I found a niche, I'm making good money, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. And we think that we're running the streets, but you got a small piece of the pie. It's money for everybody to make.
Yep.
It's like 15 people get paid when a house is sold. It's like, so it's inspectors, appraisers, agents, everybody. So yeah, it's just about us talking, sitting down at tables like this and just saying, okay, you like that? This is something you can look into. My cousin does it to me all the time. He's the reason why I do this right now. So, dropping jewels, man. Dropping jewels on.
Now I have a question for both of you guys, because y'all into the world of making big boy money. So how does it feel to be representing your people? And then I see you all the time pass on knowledge on this. Like today, it's like, I made about this amount of money for $9. I make $500 a week off of $9. If you want to know, I'm gonna put you on to the plug. I saw you do that today, and a few people did respond. So why is it important to represent your people, and why is it important for people to see people like us walk into that room and like, I represent you at all times?
I think that, like we were saying a minute ago, like we don't really do things because we think we can't. Although, like literally most of the stuff I knew it because I Googled it. I tried it. I did this. I did that. Maybe something didn't work. I tried something else. Like, it wasn't like somebody came and held my hand and gave me the knowledge each and every time, right? Most times, all I did was Google and then find my way. But I realized that everybody, not just us, everybody, period, isn't going to do that, right? A lot of us do kind of need our hand held, and we do just need some motivation. We need somebody to say, hey, this will work. Do this way, right? So it's important for me, at least, that I'm not just holding on to the information, right? If you want to know it, I will teach you how to do anything I'm doing, right? People inbox me all the time and be like, oh, you're such an inspiration, and I'm taking my broker's class now, and I'm going to open my own brokerage now, and I got my real estate license now, right? Because I really don't, like you said, it's enough money out for everybody. God ain't going to let me starve, so me helping somebody isn't gonna cost me a thing.
That's a good answer. That's a real good answer. I like that.
Because I saw you do it today. I was like, hey, that's what's up.
People can't be scared to ask questions either.
Right.
If I see you wearing a nice watch and I'm like, man, how you get that watch? If you're a good person, they're going to say, this is how you get the watch. They're not going to tell you to kick rocks. They're going to tell you, look, you do this and that. You can get this watch easy. But a lot of people look at things, they watch videos, they watch YouTube and social media, and they just like, I want that. But they don't want to know or go put in the work to find out how to obtain those things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just her or me telling somebody, hey, this is how you get money. I tell my guys at work, at my day job every day, hey, you want to get some money, this is what you do. You want to save some money, pay yourself first. A lot of people don't even know how to pay themselves. Mm-hmm. So when I say pay yourself, what do you mean? You're 55 years old, you don't know how to pay yourself when you get a paycheck? Mm-hmm. You will be surprised how much money you save in a year if you say, I'm going to put this amount of money up every time I get paid, and at the end of the year, wow, I didn't know I could save that much money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. That's how you keep a business going, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Next question.
Y'all dropping jewels over here, man.
That's what it is, man.
Now, I wanted to try something a little new today. First and foremost, shout out to my new nephew, Drake, certified lover boy. Certified lover boy. Shout out to my new nephew. He listened to my plan. I tell my nephews all the time to go to CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, local liquor store, and in case of emergency, the gasoline station. And if you got a certified psychopath, get the hot sauce ready, young man. And Drake listened to the game plan. So shout out to my new nephew, Drake. Now, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to call this throwing shade. I sent Trump a video. It's 2 minutes long, but it's worth the 2 minutes.
Who we throwing shade at?
And we're going to throw some shade. Trump, play the video, baby. We're going to throw some shade.
Clearly yet. But you can't. And this is where most people would not face Jesus anymore. What most people would do is turn away. What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming. God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand when getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty? I'm going to say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty. You mean, God, I just bought, in crazy faith, I just bought my dream car. And now you're going to ask me to sell it back and ride in the hoopty again? Yeah, because the vision I'm about to give you, it might get nasty. And do you hear and see the response?
Story for you guys while we throwing shade, you know, man. I know I like to call myself a pope, so I love it when I see somebody out here serving the Lord allegedly. So this pastor, allegedly, and this is how we serving the Lord. I'm sorry, I'm out the game. So this pastor is using that as a demo of when Jesus spat in someone's eye and they were able to see. Now, you ain't Jesus, pastor. So he rubbed his saliva all over my man's face as a demo. Now, who would like to throw some shade first? Because I know what I want to say.
I'll let y'all go.
Well, you know, I represent the Lord in all my good doings on this earth. And the only thing I can say, if you keep on looking towards the outside instead of towards the inside, and you keep on asking people to be your savior, you're going to end up with a face full of saliva or in a commune with David Koresh, and he's sleeping with your wife.
Yep, and I know exactly who you're talking about.
So that's my shade throwing. Y'all might want to start looking at your own self and, represent the Lord instead of looking at other people. Batman.
What you think about this video, Mike?
That was just nasty.
It was gross.
I don't even know how I can throw shade at it. That That was nasty. I couldn't. I actually spit in people. I should be a known spitter though, but it was nasty back then. But
the conversations in here always go somewhere else.
I was a known spitter back in like 77. I was a known spitter.
Why would you spitting on people?
Lack of respect. Real lack of respect. I'm grown now. I don't do that anymore.
When people upset you, you spit on them.
You from the South. You supposed to know better. That's the ultimate side of that.
I was waiting on the fight. When you spit in somebody's face, you're waiting on the fight.
Oh, you most definitely waiting. You catching hands after that. Yeah, so. And he would have caught hands. Yeah, I was definitely. He would have caught hands. Brother or not.
So I've heard, like, you know, I've read all those little articles. You occasionally see an article on like Instagram or Facebook or something, where like pastors in Africa are like making females like suck them off, or they are like rubbing on them or fingering them or doing something to the woman, talk like has some type of holy juice that he is putting up in the woman. Like,
those holy juice.
They be on some wild shit.
I've heard the old gods myself.
I mean, they're doing this in the church, right? So that's what I thought about when I saw this spitting video. But yeah, there's no way we wouldn't have been fighting, because that's like really nasty.
DJ Smoke, throw that shade, baby.
I mean, like I said, I mean, that's hands. You gotta throw hands. I mean, that's disrespectful, man. And then he had just coming down on the side of his face, and then he had to wipe his mouth.
Yes.
Oh, hell no!
That's when you get a good hawk.
Yeah, you know, like, man. Oh my goodness, nah. The way that he had, he put so much into it just to do that.
That's the demo. Man, keep on running to other people instead of the Lord. That's how you end up.
Jesus.
With something on your face.
Nah, but it's crazy though. They do have cults. They have cults out here that do that shit. So I know you're talking about with that Dave Caress.
Hey man,
that shit's real, but it's weird. That shit's weird.
Now, speaking of discussing, it's a good segue. What's the worst house you seen? Because I done seen some BS in my time. So what's the worst that you seen? Even though it's a non-judgment zone, what's the worst?
As far as inspecting a house?
Yeah, inspecting the house. You roll up on the scene.
It wasn't so much that, because I'm not looking for if the house is nasty. I'm looking for, again, defects. I've seen things that Uncle Bob came in and tried to fix, and they tried to cover it up. You'll see, if you go into a house, if you purchase in a house, and you see a lot of fresh paint on an older house, a lot of times they're trying to cover it up. When they paint the outside of the bricks and stuff like that, they're trying to cover something up. When they paint the sidewalk, they're trying to cover something up. If it's fresh paint on the deck, sometimes they're trying to cover stuff up. Bad wiring jobs. One of the guys, we now use a sniffer when you go into a panel. So when you're going into, we remove the panel off the breaker box, and the sniffer tells you if the bolts in the box are energized, because you're supposed to put blunt tip screws in the panel. But some people, Uncle Bob comes over there and put a pointy screw, and it hits a wire. And we had somebody go to remove a screw, and it touched the wire, and it just blew the face off the panel box. So it's a dangerous job, all in well. Some floors have been about to fall through the floors. I've actually saw a house in Virginia, though, that we were doing. It had a crawl space, and this is when I was learning. And I was on the ride along, and we were about to go in this crawl space. You go in a crawl space, you might see snakes, spiders, rats.
I hate crawl space.
All that stuff. But we went to go. It was a small entryway, and when we opened it up, it was probably 2 feet of water under the house. The whole house, not a section of the crawl space, because they do get wet. But I threw a brick in it. It was actually because my teacher, he was out there on Facebook Live, and I threw a brick under the house, and it disappeared in the water. Water splashed up out of there. So that was kind of crazy. That's not a good look.
Can you tell us why that is a problem?
You don't want to have water around your foundation like that. You got a house, it's sitting on footers, and in this area they did a lot of backfilling, so they just dug out a space. If the foundation wasn't compacted right, and the water is the worst thing to a house. That's why you have shingles, gutters, downspouts. All this stuff is made to push water away from the house, the grading, all this stuff. So when you get water on the foundation, it's going to deteriorate the structure. It might be brick veneer, it might be wood. it's creating moisture there. You might get mold. Water's just the devil when it comes to a home. So you want to get water away from your foundation.
Are you still seeing houses that are actually made of bricks?
Yeah, you see houses. Most houses now, people think they're brick, but it's
Brick veneer. I didn't think they still
I
were
seen
making
those
houses.
Lego kits that they be putting together. Lego kits.
If you spend enough money, you can get a brick house.
Oh,
but like
oh,
if you
okay.
going into like a new development, it's brick veneer. It's siding. Brick veneer is siding. So yeah, but you rarely see a masonry brick house in today's structures. But you can tell because if you walk up to a house and you see all courses of brick, the long courses of brick, it's brick veneer. When it's a masonry house, you have the short part of the brick, the header courses that stick in and they tie everything in together. So, yeah.
Tanisha, you look at a lot of houses. I see your
I do
Facebook
look
Live.
at a lot of
You be
houses.
Facebook Live.
I be in the trenches.
No, but you got to do that.
I think
That's
she's
how you
looking for a new inspector. I think she's trying to recruit me.
So
Maybe.
what's the worst house you rolled up on, as far as, you know what I mean, when you walk in on the scene? You be in Baltimore too, so
I do.
I know you've been in
Surprised I ain't
trenches.
never
Yeah, I know you've been
I'm
in.
surprised I ain't never seen a few bodies on that joint.
I used to play houses in Baltimore. Baltimore's rough. Baltimore's rough.
What's the worst thing I've seen in the house? So I've seen a lot of like really, really, really shitty houses. I buy shitty houses as an investor. I work with a lot of investors that end up buying shitty houses, fixing them up, selling them, or putting a tenant in them. So it's not really the house condition that bothers me, but it's always something in, well, not all the time, but the thing that I saw that shocked me the most is I walked in some house in Baltimore City and the house had like caution tape up in it. Like it was obvious, like a murder or something happened in the house. It was me and like 3 guys, like I'm like this big realistically, and way bigger than me. They was like, Tanisha, is there a body in here? And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to know if there's a body? I'm assuming because the caution tape's up, the cops would have took the body. Like, why y'all even ask me if there's a body in here? And then one of them said, well, Tanisha used to be in the Air Force so she can protect us. I can't protect y'all from a goddamn thing. Like, so.
Did they know y'all used to ride a bike for y'all PT?
No, you didn't. Really?
Hey, Mike about to get on you too. You know that's ex-Army right there.
Mike isn't going to say anything because,
I'm not gonna say nothing.
right?
She about to tell us the
Yeah,
body story. I'm not telling her.
I mean, there wasn't a dead body in there. Let me see. I done walked in some places and there was squatters. I saw this one house in Baltimore City. The house was fucked up. The block was fucked up. It was so bad. So the client and I pull up on the block and some kid runs over to me and he knocks on the window. He's like trying to sell me like heroin or something. I don't know. And I just start cussing. Get the fuck away from my car. I'm a cursor, right? Get the fuck away from my car. I get out. We see the house. The house is horrible. Like, be careful where you step, horrible. Ooh. We came back outside. I got in my car. And before I could pull off, some older guy knocked on the window again. He's like, can you please roll your window down? I rolled my window down. And I guess he was the block boss or something. He was like, I see you just trying to work, so I'm going to remember your car, and I'm going to make sure that when you're in the neighborhood, the guys don't bother you, right?
The block boss.
I mean, that's what you call him, right?
The dog came out. I see you trying to work on the community over here, shorty. We appreciate what you're doing.
You know, I want you to be able to do your job.
The block boss. I never heard
I
that
don't want
one.
you to be scared. I don't want you to think nothing's going to happen to you. I'm not going to let nothing happen to you. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Squatters will put their own lock on the door too.
they will.
They will change the lock.
But I don't care about squatters.
Now, my question as black people, does it anger you both? Because y'all go into communities and our own communities and how fucked up the communities be when you're trying to go there and fix it up. And then how rough it is to try to fix it up, or like, because it's always disappointing to me that we allow our own communities to fall apart instead of getting out there and fixing that shit ourselves. We wait for you to come and
I'm gonna
fix up the
give you the
community.
real answer to that. No, the answer is no, because it's about the money at this point. But I'm just keeping it real with you. That's an individual thing. Now, in the city, it's kind of hard to pull people like that together. Like, you know, I'm a country boy in South Carolina. We got a community, so it's like everybody know everybody, probably your cousin, or whatever. But in the city, everybody's on their own agenda. So, and now they pushing all this out. So it's not, you know, they got their stuff, we got our stuff, whatever the case may be. So right now, if I go into a community and I'm trying to, if I'm going in and try to invest in something and do something, it's about the money. It's about the bottom dollar. And I hate to sound crazy when I say that, but she's not worried if the house looks like some shit. She's trying to make some money off of it.
So I am not worried if the house looks like some shit, but I am super specific about where I will and will not buy at, right? So I don't want to buy something that's on the block with a bunch of vacants, right? Because I don't really want to put a tenant in something that I wouldn't at least spend a night in, right? And I tell people all the time that Baltimore's a block by block thing. That does not mean that you are not going to find an amazing home in Baltimore for a really good price, but it really is a block by block thing. So if you're looking to find something that's 125,000, you are going to do a little legwork to find something that's going to be on a block and not in a neighborhood where everything is vacant and boarded. Kind of crazy to me that they don't. I think it's a city problem, right? So it's not really a us problem. It's a city problem. A lot of these houses aren't even owned by black people, right? It's not us that actually lives in the neighborhoods that are owning these houses. These are investors that are in Florida or Michigan or
overseas.
Yes, they're not. The houses are not. Baltimore's a renter's city, right? This is why we go there. Investors, period, go there, and they can make a lot of money because you have renters in your unit. You can buy a house for $15,000, put $40,000 into it. These are post-COVID numbers. But literally, I bought a house for $15,000 with $14,888. Settled in the house, never did anything to it. Sold it a year later for almost $40K. I bought another house for like $14K, period. I maybe put 15, 20 into it, sold the house for $70K, right? So these are areas that are super low that you can make DC style rents in some of them, right? Like if you bought the house for $15,000, if you're $50,000-$60,000 all in and you're making $14,000, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $50,000 off the house, you are freaking winning, right? So I don't really feel like we tore down our neighborhoods, right? It's not. We don't have the education sometimes, and we don't own the house no way, right? We don't have the education, we don't have the money, we don't own the house anyway. It's not us that left Baltimore City looking like that, if that makes sense.
Well, not even Baltimore. I'm a DC guy.
But she just said
DC
it, though.
just always pissed me off.
You don't own nothing. Like if you don't own it, you don't care about it. You don't care about
You want your rent.
On her side of the house, I misspoke. On her side of the house, she should care about the house because it's either a sale or it's a rental. And if you're not selling, you got money out there. If you're not renting, you got money out there. So, but from my side of the house, I don't care how the neighborhood looks. I'm doing my job.
Get the hell out.
Not get shot.
I hope he not get shot.
Yeah.
I hope he not get shot. So, Mike, what's if you have a new buyer and you're preparing your new buyer for the inspection, what's like the tips you give them for getting ready? Because you really never know. The house can look amazing, right? But what you see and what they see are two different things. I am lucky enough that I've been doing this a while, so I know to see a little bit of what you see, but I still am not going to be nowhere near as good as you. I can't see the HVAC or the roof or the plumbing or the electric. None of that stuff I can see. So what I'm telling them is still based on anything I can visually see, right? So what do you tell them to prepare them?
Okay, so you have to play chess, not checkers. Okay, you might have an agent that you do a lot of work for. You might have a new agent that comes in with a buyer. So my job is to not mess the deal up, but to, how can I say this? I can see something and be like, oh my God, this is crazy, and it blows the whole deal.
Right.
But it might be a $500. It might be a $500 problem.
Right.
So you got some inspectors that go in and they just take pictures because now everything is like digital. So they might go in, oh, that's wrong. And you got some inspectors that do the report while they're right there. Take the picture, put it in. U.S. Inspect has we have a good rapport and a good method that we get the reports out to people fast. Especially last year, it was crazy. Closing going like this, so it's like, where's my inspection? Where's my inspection? So we get them out in a day, at the latest. Sometimes the inspection is done at the end of my inspection never done when I finish because I go home, because I spend more time educating. So, like, if I go there and you might have a first-time home buyer, they already nervous, they already getting pushed by the agent. This is it. And so I'm talking. And I'm like, well, this is wrong. This is nothing. You can fix this. This is not. It's not a deal breaker. This is that. So they want to feel like you got to stroke them. They want to feel good about the purchase that they're buying. It might be the biggest purchase they'll ever make. So you want to make them feel good and not make them feel bad. You want to make the agent be like, okay, Mike knows what he's talking about. He's good. He's not going to mess my deal up. Because as an inspector, you're going to mess the deal up. Now, sometimes it's just, this is $20,000 problem. My manager went into a home, and I was with him, and I was learning. And this was an agent. He told me when we got there, this is an agent that I do a lot of work for. We got there early. We like to get there early. Only job I come early for. You was inspect. So we started walking around the property, and we saw about $25,000 to $30,000 worth of work outside the house that needed to be done.
Foundation issues?
Foundation issues, grading issues, retaining wall issues, roofing issues, siding issues, electrical issues. So about $25,000 to $30,000.
Right.
So he went in and said, I'm going to talk to this agent real quick. So he told her, look, I'll leave right now. We don't have to do the inspection. A lot of inspectors don't do that. They just going to get their money. He said, this house has a lot of issues, and I would feel better if you tell your client that it has about $25,000 to $30,000 worth of issues outside. We didn't walk in the house at all. So he wasn't going to charge me. That's just the type of relationship when you got those type of agents that you're constantly doing.
Right.
You might, if you're doing it full time, you might do hundreds of inspections a year, and they might give you 100. So you want to build that type of relationship as well. See my game? See how done worked on her? She's already thinking like, man, I might call Mike to do this inspection because he know what we talking about.
And she gonna build up your social media platform because
You gotta make
Nah, but see, but the cool thing is, so I'm a first time home buyer. I just bought a house a couple of months ago, last year, and they had a team. It was like 4 of them, and it was an older guy. He had his own company, but he broke it down. He was real with me, and he went through the whole house, and he was like, "See, most people not gonna tell you what this dude, what that dude." He showed me stuff that I ain't have a damn clue what he was showing me, but he said, "Nah, do this. Make sure you change this." Now I think about, I got to change my filter. As I'm thinking about it, because he told me, he said, do it around January, February. Just keep me on my game. But there's some good inspectors out there that go through your whole house and keep it straight real with you. And then I asked him, after it was done, I said, be real with me. Would you buy this house? That's what people got to ask people. Like, would you really buy it? Would you put the time and the money into this?
What did he say?
He said, hell yeah. He said, if I was single.
You better say that.
No. He said, no, I'm going to be real with you. He said, if I was single like you and you just got a daughter, why wouldn't I buy this? He said, you don't have to do nothing to it. So he basically broke down. He said, now, whatever the painting shit, I don't like the colors, but that's you. But he said, as far as like the roof only 3 years old and all that other stuff, he said, man, they took care of this. They made sure it was ready to be sold like you want it to be. So I appreciate what y'all do, and I'm trying to get up in there. We talk offline off that.
It's hard. I'm not.
He told me that too.
I'm not gonna front. I took the national test a few times.
Right.
I'm a good test taker, and it's 200 questions. It's not
I failed already.
It's not open. It's not open.
Don't do that. You can pass.
I think it's 4 hours. And like I said, the guy in my chapter, he was on the test writing committee, and when I told him I passed, he was like, "Man, we might spend 1 hour trying to see if we're going to put that question on the test, and they might have it's multiple choice, and it might be 4 answers, and all 4 of them will work, but you have to pick the best one."
That's a real estate test.
You have to pick the one you have to go with first. And it's graded on scale, and some sections count more than others, and some sections not even it's outside of scope. It's nothing that we look at, but we have to know. A pool inspection is something totally different, but we have to know about pools and spas and all the other stuff. So it's a lot.
I never thought about the pool stuff.
Yes,
you got to inspect the pool too.
It's a totally different inspection. So when you get a pool inspector, it's best to, we do it. We'll do it.
Right.
It's best to get somebody that's trained in pool. Our pool inspection is more of a visual inspection.
I got
so
you.
So it's like get a pool guy to go out there and look at it.
That makes sense.
I'm learning a lot today.
Most common defect?
I'm learning a lot.
The defect you see the most.
Most common defect. Got several that pops up, man. GFCIs not being in the kitchen, bathrooms.
So what's that?
It's a ground fault interrupter. So anything around a basin, a sink, a tub, any outlet, it's supposed to be GFCI. That's code. So in case you drop or you blow dry your hair in the tub.
That's what dude was talking about. Okay.
And
Okay.
it drops in the tub.
Yeah.
It'll trip. So it won't blow you up.
Okay. Like, because I got one in my kitchen.
You up and electrocuted?
Hell nah, I don't want to be.
You ever peed on an electric fence?
Nah.
Give you a little bite.
Give you a little doc, Mike.
Little bite.
Yeah, I was told you're supposed to have like resets all through your house to where you can trick some shit off.
You got ground fault. You got GFCI. You got arc fault interrupters as well. So in case an arc comes and sparks, it'll trip as well. But GFCIs are must in every sink. I mean, every kitchen, bathroom. You got to have those. You got to have. I see a lot of non-full coverage outlets outside. Those metal things you flip up for your plugs.
Right.
Those are not code anymore. Those are not. You got to have the full exposure, weather-resistant covers. Most people don't do it. So it's just it's gonna get rolled up a lot. Something simple like downspout extensions. You want to get the water 6 feet from the house. So the little plastic tubes that people think ugly, I think they're ugly too. I write them up on almost every house, but I think they're ugly. But if your grading is good, you don't really have to worry about that. You don't really have to worry about that in the city, Baltimore or something like that. But like you out in Maryland, you need to get the water away from the house.
Yep, if you have some land, you need to make sure you have that extension.
Yeah.
Oh, they told me to get that, but I mean, I live in a townhouse, but they told me I need
still
to,
have it.
Yeah,
so the water can run.
You want to get
away from the house.
You want to get that water away from the foundation because you get it on the it can move some things in the house. The house constantly does this all day long.
Right.
So when your door a little hard to shut, or it's just boom, it's closing real fast because your house is breathing. It's breathing like you. So the wood, the material they make it out of is doing this all day long. So
I learned something new, man.
You can get the green energy efficient. I know guys that build energy efficient homes that they test the whole home, see how much air you losing out of the windows and stuff like that. So yeah, it gets deep.
It sounds like a science.
I'm smarter than I look.
That's all.
Smarter than I look.
Surprising for an Army guy, but
Before we wrap this up, Tanisha, I was in the parking lot and somebody left you some presents in the parking lot, so you want to open up your car and all that stuff. Thank God.
Somebody left some presents in the
Parking lot, man. I mean, I don't know.
All right.
pretty.
I don't know if it's one of your stalkers. I don't know what's going on out there. Happy birthday from
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
From
Thank
the
you. Thank you.
Unpacked
Thank
family.
you. I want no money in it.
Ain't no sugar daddy money.
No
in there.
sugar daddy action over here.
Just like the black folks, man.
no money in it.
Just like black folks. Next throwing shade at Tanisha.
I could have bought me some coffee or something. Go ahead. No, I'm
She
joking.
opened up the regular way. I was like, you
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Give us back our card, lady.
Not give back a card.
Ain't no money in it. All right.
I really appreciate it. And the roses are so pretty. I'm going to put them up in the office.
Shout out to the dude to be on the highway selling the roses, man. Shout out to you, sir.
out.
You are the real MVP.
The real MVP. The real MVP. Hey,
Shout out to you, sir.
Hector, thank you, Hector.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
I'm so
And
upset.
I mean, you was a man when I was back in my nightclub days too. When my man.
but you
and
know,
roll up and love and all that stuff.
Thank
birthday.
you.
See, we made
it feels good to turn 40 again.
That's what's up. Again,
we love it.
Okay.
Well, we all know my man Mike is working on his brand, but where can we find least?
Oh, you can
Your company.
You can definitely find me on usinspect.com, but I'm gonna give y'all my number. I don't even do this. So y'all should feel real special.
Thank you, Mike.
Your audience should feel real
Thank you,
special.
Mike.
I don't do this at all. Remember this. Love you, bro. It's you can reach me on my cell. You can call me anytime, 240-801-0465. Now if a lady pick up the phone, just say you don't know, you got the wrong number.
Please don't call that man unless you want an inspection. Don't play on his phone.
Nah, you can call me. You can call me anytime. 240-801-0465. I will come back on the show and I'm gonna put out my information. I'm gonna give it you. I'm always with you, and we gonna do some big things in 2022.
I'm gonna give y'all some videos of Mike at inspections. I got y'all.
Leave nothing on the table in 2022.
Exactly.
Go get it.
Exactly. Money on the floor.
like
we
it.
still got to go hunting and fishing.
Money in the floor.
If you teach me how to skin it, I'm gonna skin it too.
First one's cut,
We
right?
going all the way in.
Oh,
We going all the way.
Lord help us. No.
What happened?
Delta.
You want some mountain oysters?
No.
Whatever. You know, I'm a rookie to the game. You know, I didn't have a
don't
father
say-
growing up, so you got to
catch
be like
mountain
my
oysters?
honorary uncle. Or
You're
something
somewhere
out
catching
there.
mountain oysters.
You know what a mountain oyster is?
It's not an actual oyster.
No, it's not a mountain.
What's a mountain oyster?
It's a bull nuts.
Oh my
Hey.
goodness.
Hey man, it might make
You
you a
the
man.
G.
Might make you a man.
So if you're eating bull nuts,
Hey man,
please record it.
Red
You'll
rays
find
give
it
you
on
wings. Hey, what's that, my man? Liver King. We gonna go Liver King mode out there. All right, DJ Smoke, where can they find you at?
DJ Smoke _ENT on Instagram.
Tanisha, where can they find you?
So I thought it was a real oyster, right? Like I'm like I eat whale fleets and I eat,
She's still on that.
I really thought it was an oyster. Okay, so you guys know you can follow me on Instagram. It's at DMV Property Diva. Again, it's at DMV Property Diva. Please follow the brokerage. It's at Real Urban Realty, at Real Urban Realty. And I'm not giving out my number because y'all like to play on my phone. So yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But you can find us on Unpack Radio everywhere. And we will see you next time on Unpack Radio. We got some real, ownership coming in here. We doing big boy stuff today. Look like we doing big
We
boy
drinking.
stuff. And then February 4th and February 18th, I won't be here.
Oh, February 18th. You're not coming February 18th
I'm
either?
gonna be in train there. But DJ Smoke and my man Mike going captain the ship on there the 18th because the men are taking over the first hour.
That's
And
what
we gonna be
I'm talking
discussing all these issues
So,
with
man,
these
you,
women.
we get back- we
and
get
then
back.
the ladies are coming in on the second hour. And,
They gonna
and the first lady
we
will
gonna
be
take
the
it to a
captain.
whole
Why
nother
did you go
show.
first?
Hey, we got the first hour.
Wow.
Y'all can go
Hey.
ahead
Hey.
and sit back and just listen to what we gotta
Don't
say.
worry.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ain't shit episode hosted by Tanisha. No.
Hey, it's all good.
They not gonna like what I got.
Hey, they ain't gonna like
So
what I
we'll
gotta
see.
say
Y'all
either.
know
We
I'm
gonna
in the
talk
room,
this
right?
shit. You
I'm
know?
gonna be here.
I'll
You
bring
gonna
you-
be
I'll
on the
bring-
sideline. You gonna be on the sideline.
I bring
man.
some hearts. I bring
I
some
don't
hearts.
care. I wouldn't care if Michelle Obama was in here. I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
So we
Don't
gonna
worry, ladies. I'm ready.
We're going to be unpacking the real
We gonna
issues
talk
about
big shit,
relationships
man.
on
We
the
gonna love it.
18th. And on the 4th, we're going to figure it out. I don't know yet, but we're going to
That's our
figure
Black
it out.
History
We're not
episode.
unpacking nothing. We packing everything. We getting up out
Put
of
that
here.
shit in the suitcase,
Don't worry,
right?
ladies. We got y'all.
See you next time.
I